So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a simple box geometry, a simple mesh. We don't need to get too complicated because we're not too worried about the mesh. We're not too worried about the slice. It's all about how we apply the process parameters. So those process parameters are set within the custom post processor. So you access the printer settings, go to your post processor setting, select custom, hit the setting icon, and then you'll find that when you scroll down through the information within that dialog box, you'll see process parameters, and there's a checkbox. Tick the checkbox, press save again when you exit the custom post processor, and then that will bring you to this screen and the ability to use the edit operator and the process parameters. You saw Michael smiling there. It's because we've recorded this, or tried to record this once, and I didn't save my settings. So just remember to save your settings. Okay, so we've already bought in a box. It's a 400 by 400 by 400 box, and I've centered it on the table. Okay, I'm going to bring the slice operator, and like I said, just going to do a simple horizontal. We're going to make our layers a little bit bigger just for the purposes of the demo. We've got to make sure that we select our mesh as well. So create mesh, mesh, perfect. Hit the refresh button. We'll get those slices. Perfect. Okay. So from here, in fact, what I'm going to do is just remove the information on the screen. So from here, what I'm going to do first is filter out my very first layer, which is layer 0. And then I am going to apply a new process parameter to it compared to the rest of my layers. Now, conventionally, how we used to do this, and we can still do it this way, is we'd bring in a filter operator, we'd filter at the first layer, bring in an edit operator, and then change the information attributed to that layer. But what we found recently is you're usually using a filter and an edit in combination. So we've actually unlocked some settings within the edit, like you'll see now, that allows us to use those filter settings within the edit. So in this case, we're using one operator rather than 2 to 3 operators. So automatically detects the slice. My selection, I don't want to do the entire input like I've just said. I'm going to do my layer. So this is the information that I'm going to apply, and this is the filtering information. So my start and end value, 0 and 0. That's going to filter out my very first layer. My edit type. Now, process parameters. This is what we're going to edit. Now, depending on what parameters you have set in your controller, so at the moment it defaults to 1. So whatever parameters on your controller are attributed to your process parameter 1, it will apply to that first layer. In this case, I'm going to put in 2 because everything else is going to be assigned 1. So we want to see a difference. So let me hit that compute button. And there we go. You're looking at it now and you're thinking, nothing's happened. There's no changes. Well, because we've got the process parameter setting checked, we also have an additional visual tool that we can look at, and we can look at the process parameter ID. And there you can quite clearly see that process parameter ID 2 is red, and everything else is process parameter ID 1. Okay, that is as simple as it gets. If we wanted to, we could get into splitting down this part. We could filter out 4 different sides. And then we could apply a different parameter to each of those sides.
And because we have all the functionality from the filter that now are inside the edit, and we can immediately edit, we can take larger areas, smaller areas, and
absolutely
apply different edits on each of it, and then we can just duplicate the edit and
just change the inputs to those operators. Absolutely. There's a few more additional operators, so some of our polyline operators. So like I say, we'd have to split. So at the moment, each of those layers has 1 seam. We would need to split each of those layers up to have 4 seams. And then we can
But
use
I could also bring 3 different geometries and apply
absolutely. Yeah.
edits on those, and I have 2 different process parameters for each geometry that then I combine, and now I have my whole workflow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's very cool and very useful, Mike. Thank you very much. It was short and sweet as always. Thank you, and focused. Let's keep doing those. I'm sure the community will appreciate. And to the next one.
Cheers, Michael.
Thank you, Mike.